and field at the start of round 5 continues from Brisbane last night. We arrive on the Gold Coast. The Titans hosting the Penrith Panthers. Straight after this, it's up to Townsville. Tomorrow, the Sunshine Coast, but here's the home team as we speak right now. The Titans, 0-4 to start the season. They've never been 0-4 in their short history. They want the good times to start flowing again and the points to start flowing. But the obstacle tonight is the Penrith Panthers. Great to have you with us on Fox League. I'm Matt Russell. Hannah Hollis is sideline. Alongside me in the commentary box, Corey Parker. Alongside Justin Hodges. And last week, these men, lucky, but they were winners. And as a result, Penrith come into this one, 2 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah, Matty, they were just got home right on the bell there against the Tigers last week. Should be a terrific game this afternoon. The Titans, as you mentioned, still yet to record their first win for 2019. Had a few disruptions in terms of their player personnel. They're back home. They've been on the road for a couple of weeks. They'll be looking to start their account for 2019. As for the Penrith Panthers, well, they've been underwhelming, to say the least. I know they've got 2 wins, but we all thought they'd be a lot better off in terms of their playing performance. It's a lot better than the alternative, though.
Justin, their error rate, the Panthers, horrible as a result. Worst completions in the league, and their attack has struggled. Bottom 2 for line breaks, tackle busts, offloads. But you get the feeling with the likes of Viliami Kikau back in the team now that this could be a breakout night for the Panthers.
Yeah, look, I think so. If you look at their overall performance over the last couple of weeks, haven't been up to their standards, but they come here tonight, they're up against a side who are struggling, and this is where you can start to rebuild your season.
It was a kick from Nathan Cleary to make it 8-all against West Tigers, and then he delivered in Golden Point, his 3rd career field goal, giving them a precious 2 premiership points. And he has been oh so cool, not just last week, but on last visit to the Gold Coast, where it was a Nathan Cleary Golden Point field goal to get them home. That was late last season, and now plenty of energy. We've seen it in the build-up to this game from the Titans. They need to win and win tonight.
And that's what they need. They need desire, they need commitment, but more importantly, they need energy, and they need it for the entire game. As we see Michael Gordon in game 250. What a special moment it is for him and his family. 500 people on 9 buses have made their way down. A really, really nice moment there for Michael Gordon. There's one of them. Not sure which one that is, but
500 people.
500 people, 9 buses, and they all met in the one place. And I think there's been a few of those go on since.
His wife Tess is here, kids Cruz and Kalani. Game 250 for a champion of the game. You've heard the studio team sing the praises of Michael Gordon. I'll jump on board there. He's a fantastic man to watch play rugby league, but to deal with off the field. And good luck to you tonight in game 250. The 35-year-old, he's the 3rd oldest behind Paul Gallen, Cam Smith of the current players in his 14th season.
Oh, okay, sweet.
And a man who spent 7 years as a Panther and still holds the point-scoring record in a single game. 30 points. Little false start. Now we're clear. Friday night footy is go on Fox League. And it's the Panthers with first use of the ball. Returned by James Tarmo. And he's stopped 15 metres out from the line. What relief for the Panthers last week. To down West Tigers, 9-8. This man, Isaiah Yeo, clearing concussion concerns early in the season to play tonight.
Move together, Roy. Square joy. Hold.
I'm sure the first aim will be to cut their errors, to improve the completions. As they walk their way towards halfway. Regan Campbell-Gillard, middle of the field. And now James Fisher-Harris into Titans territory. They'll complete via the boot of James Maloney, who can't quite get the kick away as he planned. It's a torpedo down for Anthony Don, and he's tackled 25 metres out. Ryan Kelly has been a bright spot for the Titans this season. 6th in the league when it comes to tackle busts. He had 8 against the Warriors. Not enough for victory as the Titans went down in New Zealand, 26-10. That was their third of 3 straight road games after opening their campaign with a loss here against Canberra, 21-0. Proctor getting to the play of the ball now, and it's Jared Wallace, middle of the field, trying to lead their go forward again. He did it last week in New Zealand, 136 run metres. Here's Ash Taylor. He gets it end over end, high down to Dallin Watene-Zelezniak under no real pressure, starting in the fullback role tonight and completing his first catch.
He finds himself back in that fullback role, as you mentioned. Ash Taylor's just pulled up a little bit lame after getting some contact from Campbell Gillard.
And this is a concern. He has had a quadriceps injury.
Here's the replay. He just gets hit. That's all okay for mine. Just picked up a little knock. Hopefully he's okay for the Gold Coast Titans.
Well, Tyrone Roberts has had the Achilles problem, and Ash Taylor the quadriceps injury, and he's hobbling around as if it's that problem again as Penrith explore on the right-hand side of the field. Wanga Blake, yet to score this season, but he does really well against the Titans as the kick comes away from Maloney, down where it's taken by the milestone man, and Michael Gordon can't beat the first chaser. Leading the chase, Dylan Edwards.
He still doesn't look 100% Ash Taylor. You can see him in the back play. The trainers are with him. Still limping quite badly as the Titans go on the attack.
It's one for Hannah Hollis to keep her eyes on, but what are the conditions like down there, Hannah?
Oh, good evening, Maddie. Well, despite some rain earlier today, since lunch, well, the skies, they've cleared for kick-off, at least for now. The track is still a bit dewy, but I'm hoping that doesn't affect either side too much tonight. In terms of the wind, there's none of it. It's beautiful down here on the sideline. It's a balmy Queensland evening as we get ready to celebrate Michael Gordon's 250th NRL game and Ivan Cleary's 300th game as a coach.
Yeah, nice mention, Hannah. Ivan to 300 in the coach's box after a long and decorated playing career as well. He's coached at the Warriors, West Tigers, of course, back for his second stint at the Panthers.
I really like the move of putting Edwards to the wing and Watene-Zelezniak back on the fullback. Just his presence in that middle third of the field, for mine, I think, asks a lot more questions. We see Kickow down the left edge. Hasn't he been sorely missed? He'll
ask some questions. Definitely one game back. Now, with that knee problem, he returned against West Tigers and surprised even himself. Sent in early, much earlier than expected, as Frank Winterstein picked up a knee injury. He was good. Big Bill. Here's the kick from Penrith. It's left for Anthony Don, who collects safely and goes straight to grounds.
Both teams just feeling each other out at the moment. Happy to get to their end of their set. They've been perfect, both teams. Fifth play options have just been put the ball up, try and hem them in to corners.
Arrow playing at 25 out. Down the short side for Kevin Proctor. And running up to meet him. It's Dean Farray. Across the face of Ryan James for Jared Wallace. Playing in his usual head strapping, but a bit of it has come free. And here's Roberts running onto the ball and driving it. Beautifully corrected or collected on the fly. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak putting heaps of pressure, immense pressure on Dylan Edwards, who did very, very well.
He did exceptionally well under all sorts of pressure from Dale Copley, but he saw the space, he saw an opportunity, and he couldn't hold it.
Cleary quickly on for Tamo. There were numbers. Now he rolls it off the hands. Out to the wing. Dean Farray spots Cleary. Support in field. And driven from behind. Cleary tackled by Wallace. Great cover from the Titans prop. Here come the Panthers inside the 20. A long ball. Maloney, they keep it going now. Wanga Blake with the defence sliding across. Led by former Panther Tyrone Peachey. Isaiah Yeo straightens, and he stopped 5 metres out. Maloney to the line. He grubbers into Wallace, who knocks it on. Well, Maloney has forced more goal line dropouts than any player in the league this season. You fancied his chances of another right there.
He just comes up he just comes up with the right options there is James Maloney. As we see the bust here out on this left-hand edge. A nice little ball from Tamau to promote it, and then Cleary finds far eight. I thought it was a forward pass, to be fair, to Cleary.
As we see here, Jimmy Maloney just comes close to the line. Jared Wallace almost picks it out of thin air, makes a little scramble there, gives the Penrith Panthers another set.
Great opportunity out on this left edge with Viliami kick out set.
Right, shot clock off. Two-hand send straight ball in.
That's the way they come. Cleary dummies to kick out. It's pushed on nicely. Josh Mansour. It was Wateni Zelezniak just batting it on for his winger. And it very nearly worked. Cleary, here's kick out. The leg drive takes him within 7 or 8 metres. As the Panthers spread out to the right now. Katoa, Fisher Harris and Jimmy Maloney on the fly, untouched. Penrith land the first punch.
Sensational ball here from Fisher Harris, but the ever-reliable Maloney in what he does so good. Push around the ball. It was a nice pass to create the space here from Katoa. Little decoy run from Tamau. And it was just too easy through that middle third. The pass here and the decoy run.
Campbell Gillard comes through hard, just
gets Jai Arrow and Cartwright interested. Cartwright turns his shoulders. And a nice eyes-up play there from Fisher Harris. Terrific start at their first time down in this end.
63 career tries, Justin, but his first for the season. James Maloney, the New South Wales Origin incumbent, 32 years young, admitting earlier this season that he's concentrated on his defence and improved in that area. He was on the fly there, winding back the clock speed-wise.
Well, he's such a wonderful player, James Maloney. He's always competing, he's always on the ball. Corey touched on it before, he's always running those nice little tough outside-in lines and always supporting his teammates, and that's why he came up with the first 4-pointer of the evening.
6-0 Penrith, Hannah.
Matty, as pressure builds for the Panthers and questions are asked around the combination between Nathan Cleary and James Maloney, do you think he cares about external criticism? Yes, again, it does not bother the Panthers halfback. He only worries about the opinions that matter, and that are of his coach, Ivan Cleary. Last week, he said it was an ugly, gritty win loaded with errors, but it's positive that they were able to win despite all of that. And for all of our Fox League fans, on the Sunday night show with Matty Johns, Jimmy Maloney will be Matty's special guest.
12 Origins under the belt, 3 games in the green and gold. After tonight, he'll set his sights on Sunday night with Matty Johns and James Tamau. Just the start the Panthers were after.
Well, they've been perfect, Matty. They're 5 from 5. They would have spoke about coming here and starting well, starting fast. They've shown energy, as has the Gold Coast Titans. But defensively, they're just way too poor.
And they've been perfect in recent times in terms of converting the first try into victory. They've done it in all of the last 8 games where they've scored the first try, go on to win. Here's Fisher Harris driving play forward again. Nice angle again as Wateni Zelezniak just angles in behind the ruck. Final play, they've come 50 metres and Maloney kicks on the front foot. Another tester for Michael Gordon, who puts it down. Dean Faro was in his face. And there's a knock-on from the milestone man.
Well, they rolled down the middle third of the field. Off some quick play, the ball's Mick Gordon in game 250. He's got Claret. Here's the tackle that wooed the crowd. Mitch Rain, an ex-Panther on Cleary.
Sione, let's bring him in tight again, that's good.
You see here Michael Gordon, he doesn't drop too many. But you can just see the ball just sat up for ages. You can see the defensive line coming down on him.
He had a clean passage there
10 seconds, let's go.
as well. Brian Kelly didn't do much for his fullback in terms of running him off the ball.
bloodied early. Gordon packs into the back of the scrum. AJ Brimson on the bench. The Panthers with Cleary showing it. And going outside, Dallin. Wateni Zelezniak. We're in the northeastern corner of Cbus Super Stadium. Back the other way, a horrible ball out of dummy half. Straight through the legs of one Panther. Picked up by Isaiah Yeo. Lucky not to knock it on big Wonga Blake. What a nightmare. The ball down around his ankles. Tamo. Now Cleary, Maloney, the short ball for kick out, who wasn't expecting it. And the Gold Coast dodge a bullet there.
Michael, you got to get
mentioned
cleaned up.
Former
get cleaned
Panthers before, Corey. It's a real theme for the Titans tonight. The coach, Garth Brennan, spent
You can take him at the back
extensive and successful time at the Panthers in the lower grades. Michael Gordon, Tyrone Peachy, Mitch Rain, Bryce Cartwright, all coming out of Penrith.
You can just see there the big Billy just getting his line all mixed up there, but Penrith Panthers, they've been so good so far. Completion rate at 86%. It's their first knock on of the evening.
A panel beating for Michael Gordon.
They've got a real look about them this evening, the Penrith Panthers.
Well, these two teams are the lowest scoring teams in the league. The Titans with 36 points. To put that in perspective, Jared Croker has scored as many points individually for Canberra as the Titans have scored all season. This will help a penalty. But not much better than them coming into this game. Penrith with 39 points. So both teams averaging less than 10 points per game through the opening month.
Wait for the kick here, wait for the kick. Wait for the army.
Kevin Proctor.
He's been good in the opening stages. Fisher Harris.
There are those points I referred to. Lead pickings indeed for these clubs. Who can get going tonight? It's Penrith scoring first. Tyrone Roberts on to Gordon quickly. He promotes Tyrone Peachy.
James, release now.
And a penalty. Tap and go from Peachy. To the line, he takes another 12 or 13 metres. It was James Maloney conceding. Hands on the ball in the ruck. Now the ball goes to ground, scooped up by Proctor, who runs at a hole and puts a step on Dallin Wateni Zelezniak through that tackle, but rounded up from behind. Rain called by Ryan James, and he's pushed backwards at the line. In their best position of the game, the Titans go through Taylor. Now it's Roberts dummying, but he can't fool Maloney or Yeo. Rain looks back towards the open field where Jai Arrow backs his way towards the in goal. Final play. Tyrone Roberts called it and kicked it. It sits up beautifully for Penrith. And they'll play it a couple of metres out. Bryce Cartwright with the tackle.
It was nice defence there from the Penrith Panthers. Haven't been asked to do much of that in this first half. They read that really well down that right-hand edge. Roberts come round, nice little left foot kick, but they're all over it.
If you're looking at the Titans socks and thinking it's a bit like a school mufti day, it's part of their back to the juniors game where they wear the socks of their junior clubs. As the kick here from Penrith is a good one, turning Dale Copley around. And Copley gets back to his 30. Justin, along that theme, I wanted you wearing the Cairns Kangaroo socks.
The Cairns Kangaroo socks.
Your junior club.
Yes.
I've done it several years now. The Titans, it's a really nice touch. Tyrone Roberts there, for example, playing in the Ballina Seagull socks.
Leave it, leave it.
Penalty for the Titans, which are really helping at the moment. The whistle in their favour.
Yeah, it was Campbell Gillard over the top, deemed to be too high on that man, Bryce Cartwright. Give him a little bit on the ground as well. Plenty of feeling in this match.
Come on, mate, let's go. Bryce behind the kicker.
Just let him know that, yeah, I'm here.
Well, those two, Regan Campbell-Gillard, Bryce Cartwright, would have played a lot of footy together.
Well, they're just flexing their muscles at the moment, the Penrith Panthers. They look so much better, bigger, faster and stronger in those first 15 minutes.
defensive line is good as well. Not many 3 metres for the Titans, as Jared Wallace discovers. Stopped 25 metres out. Roberts on for Taylor. Proctor again running a nice line. He has been good for the home team. Rain, Taylor, Roberts now. They keep it going the same way. Gordon holds it up for Peachy. But still, this defence is good. Edwards the man this time for Penrith. He's had his problems in the fullback role, but shifted to the wing late last week and starts this game there as well. Ryan James can't twist his way through. Taylor finds Arrow underneath. Offload for Proctor. Back to Kelly. Can he break a few more tackles? Brian Kelly beautifully tipped on by Proctor. But Anthony Don is rounded up in a heartbeat by Josh Mansour. This is Taylor between the uprights, not picked up by Penrith, still there. Dived on now by Tyrone Roberts, who says, we have some points, baby.
Thank you. Jared, I'm back to 0. We have a try. Can you please confirm James Maloney doesn't ground the ball?
Well, we're just going to have a look.
Gold Coast kick chase is cleared as onside.
It's got a deflection there from Campbell Gillard. And did Maloney ground the ball?
I don't think he did.
Well, he definitely got his hands to it.
He's come over the ball there.
We just need to go back a fraction.
Well, that's not a 10.
We've got no grounding by James Maloney. It's a live ball to this point. The ball is kicked forward by the Gold Coast player.
It's going to be a try.
The voice of Jared Maxwell in the bunker.
And we have a grounding by Gold Coast. We have a decision.
It was a well-structured set there from the Titans. They had a shot out on the left. They come out to this right side, which they've seen a little bit of value in and around Big Billy kick-out. As we've seen try come up. They go back to the middle, and then Ash Taylor, we all know how good he is with the boot, comes up with the right play, deflection, a live ball, and the Titans, they've struck back.
It's a nice little kicky by Ash Taylor. He looks up, sums up the situation, lovely. Good kick chase here by Tyrone Roberts. Desperation to get off.
The anticipation from Jimmy Maloney was spot on, just unable to hold on to it. That's a good fight back from the Titans.
We'll give them that little bit of confidence the Titans need at the moment. They've been trying to get over the line. But the Penrith Panthers defence has been absolutely spot on.
Tyrone Roberts gets his first try in his second stint as a Gold Coast Titan, having been interrupted by a period with Warrington in the Super League. So he's in his third year at the Gold Coast, 5 at Newcastle, Super League as well. And Michael Gordon has been kicking these goals for 14 seasons. Can he do it first up in game 250? He can. But Hannah, Ash Taylor, we know how well he can play when it comes to try assists.
That's right, Maddie, and here come the points for both sides of the competition. Now, less than 5 minutes into this game, there was an awkward tackle on the halfback on Ash Taylor. And when he came out of the tackle, he was limping, and it took a fair while for him to actually run it out. I went over and checked with the Titans bench, and they said he copped an awkward knock to the outside of his knee, but he's managed to warm it up and run it off. He's okay, and he slotted in that grubber just to prove it.
There he is, peeling out of that shot early that scared us. We thought it was a recurrence of the earlier problem that might see him leave the game early. So almost halfway through this opening period, we're locked at a try each. And that was the lift that the Titans were after, having been kept scoreless in 3 of their 4 first halves so far. Now Ryan James crashing forward. The Bilambil Jets Junior proudly wearing their socks in this one. The Titans confronting a poor record against Penrith, having won only 6 of their 18 meetings. And only 3 of their 8 clashes here at Robina. In fact, the Panthers have taken their last 4 against the Titans and their last 2 here. They get to the end of the set and get a penalty at the end of the set. Michael Gordon, tap and go. That's experience, all 250 games of it, and he's inside the 10. Still running hard at 35. Michael Gordon to play it. Gold Coast on the front foot. The inside ball to Cartwright against his former club. He's flung to ground.
Numbers right.
That's the way they come. Roberts chimes in. Wallace says no, we'll explore down the middle. Gold Coast, the only team not to score through the middle over the first month. And I've done it earlier in this one, a few minutes ago, trying for back-to-back tries. Cartwright dives with the ball, and now James. Playing it a couple of metres out, but this is the last play. Roberts chips, looking for the height of Anthony Don. He gets it, and Anthony Don spins around to score. 70 Gold Coast tries, the most of all time, and he ain't stopping anytime soon.
Can you just confirm, if the ball's grounded short, does he knock it on before it makes the line?
Gold Coast right side kick chases cleared as onside.
Again, it's come off the boot. This time, Tyrone Roberts, the Don, he's up.
We've got a clear contest by Anthony Don, who takes possession cleanly.
We're just checking if he knocks on. Oh, the Don. The Don
and
is
the ball
good.
is grounded on the goal line. We have a decision.
Thank you, mate.
You talk about experience, Mick Gordon, the quick tap. As we see try come up. It was a fifth tackle penalty, which was costly for the Penrith Panthers. Mick Gordon straight at him, and off the back of that, they're just unable to regroup.
I just love this little kick here by Tyrone Roberts. He looks like he's going to put a grubber in. The whole Penrith Panthers defenders starting to come in. As you see there, he just pops it over the top, knowing that he's got the Donster out wide.
I thought they'd blown it, Matty. They had numbers out here on the right-hand side. They went left. They dropped Jared Wallace off. I thought the opportunity had gone. But the Don, he saw different.
He's now scored in his last 3 games for the Titans. And he's now scored in 4 straight games against Penrith.
Representing the Grafton Ghosts.
A club he played for into his early 20s before making his NRL debut at 25 years of age.
How good is the Don? Hey?
In his 7th season as a Titan, passing David Mead a couple of games ago to become their all-time leading try scorer. And Michael Gordon trying to push them ahead by 6. He does. A converted try, the difference after we're done in southeast Queensland. We'll go to North Queensland, where the Cowboys are hosting Melbourne, and Cam Smith is primed to pass Hazem El Masri as the all-time leading point scorer. Hazem 2-4-1-8. Cam Smith 2-4-1-6. Already the most games. Might be only a few hours before he also has the most points.
Yeah, it'll be a milestone game up there for Cam Smith. We heard Mal Meninga talk about it. He'll be wanting to get the win. I know Hazem will be up there ready to hand over that mantle. And what's another record to the great man?
Andrew Voss, Braithen Astor, Kevin Walters, Brent Tate, about to bring you that action from 1300 Smile Stadium.
James, release!
As I mentioned, we started last night, the Broncos beaten. Tonight it's the Titans on the Gold Coast, then the Cowboys in Townsville, and tomorrow South taking a premiership game to the Sunshine Coast. So we start Super Saturday. So it's a Queensland quadrilla to start round 5. Spoke to Nick Pappas, the South Sydney Supremo, this morning. Very excited to be starting a 3-year term on the Sunshine Coast, taking games there. That's tomorrow, but tonight Tyrone Roberts is kicking towards the western sideline, where Watene Zelezniak again positions himself perfectly. early signs. Doesn't he look good with number 1 on his back? As Greg Alexander explained pre-game, a knee injury. Saw him just behind the 8 ball pre-season, so he started on a wing.
Stem cell surgery in the off-season, which made it a very slow start for him. But he brings the ball back with such intent. Really asks questions of the defensive line.
Fisher Harris to Campbell Gillard, the forwards with a bit of ball work there, but it's a knock on. This has been the problem for the Panthers. Errors. They started so well.
Well, they were 5 from 5 to start the game. They had 18 errors last week. Now 7 from 9. As Campbell Gillard tries to pass the ball. Yeah, that's the right call. Comes off Maloney. What they're seeing, they're starting to see a little bit of space out in this right-hand edge, and they're trying to get the ball there too early. Need to create some ruck speed in the middle third before getting there.
Copley driven backwards in the tackle. Cleary and Viliami kick out. Here's Keegan Hipgrave.
Well, we talk about energy with players. He doesn't leave anything on the field, Hipgrave.
1 speed, flat out, and we love it. Ash Taylor. He's pulled the ground. Katoa and Campbell Gillard, the tacklers. Now Roberts show, and he almost goes through the line. Kick out, and Cleary make the stop. Proctor passing it on for Kelly. Deceptively strong Brian Kelly. Couple of seasons at Manly. And his first as a Titan. As the kick from Ash Taylor is almost an air swing.
I haven't seen him kick that bad. He's absolutely shanked that Ash Taylor. He was going across field to Dale Copley.
Here it is.
Have a look at the replay. He's barely got that.
Not his finest moment.
You reckon the knee came into play then?
That's what he'll be telling the coaching staff afterwards. The quad just gave me a little twinge. Katoa. Middle of the ground. Penrith starting so well, but losing momentum to the Titans through the middle stages of this first half. Mansour. Such a meter eater. Katoa. Change of angle by Maloney. Cleary on to kick out. He gets his arm free. Drops into the basket of Cleary, who gets to the 10. And can't free the arms. Wrapped up by Taylor. Kelly makes sure of it. Plenty of resistance in that effort by Nathan Cleary. Maloney kicks across the field. The jump by Copley was good. The catch was horrible. And they gift Penrith perfect position here.
Hang on.
More than that.
It was a great kick there by James Maloney, just finding space. Testing Dale Copley out there on the left edge. I think the penalty came about for maybe Tyrone Peachey just trying to take the block runners out of play. If you see here, look at that. Yeah, he just gets his body in front, changes his line.
That's a textbook what you can't do.
Well, he's not watching the ball, he's just watching where the players are.
There's a false start there.
Some valuable seconds for the Titans. They grab some more oxygen and now defend their line. This man takes some defending. Moses Leota. Katoa out of dummy half. Picks up the support play very close to the line. But Isaiah Yeo can't burst through. Maloney, Cleary now. He holds the pass and takes the tackle from Proctor. Kick out dummy half. Now Tamo, first receiver. Who's playing where out there? Katoa for Yeo. And Yeo backs his way within 5. Katoa is called by Tamo, but the defence is waiting. Hipgrave, Rain and Arrow. 3 of the Titans' better tacklers waiting in the middle. Now Cleary, kick out, puts a step on Ash Taylor. Still going! Viliami kick out. He's too big, he's too strong. And in that instance, he's too close.
Well, it's incredible. They have missed this man in the opening few weeks of the competition, and this is why. Power, determination. Nothing doing out on this left-hand edge. Give it to Viliami, kick out. Gets rid of Proctor. Through Taylor, 4 people. Slam the ball down. That is desire, that is commitment. Bang off the left foot. Proctor's no slouch. Brian Kelly, Mitch Rain. Too easy.
I just love the confidence here by Nathan Cleary, just knowing that he's got a big man outside him on Ash Taylor. 5th tackle, but just gives him the ball. And look at that, Corey, you're right. It's just determination, the want to get to the try line, beating 5 players in his path.
Sometimes, Matty, there's plays to set people up. There's all the flashy plays, and other times it's just giving early ball. When you've got a guy like that outside you, Viliami kick out, you give him early ball and just sit back and watch him go.
Only 36 NRL games under the belt. Now 7 tries in the top grade. That's his first of the season. The knee injury behind him, and Ivan Cleary will be hoping all the negative injury headlines are behind him. A terrible ankle problem when he first arrived at Penrith from North Queensland, where he ran amok in the under-20s competition. The Panthers spotted that. They said, we want you. And boy, have they got a good one in Viliami Kikau. Now Nathan Cleary makes the most of it. Hannah, I like to describe him as a big, big man, Viliami Kikau, from a tiny Fijian island.
Don't get in front of him, Matty, that's for sure. Bryce Cartwright, a former teammate, remembers the day when Villy arrived from North Queensland. About 125 kilos he was, and he could run like an outside back. No one wanted to get in front of him. And last season, most of Penrith's attacking brilliance was inspired by those sorts of runs. The chaos that he created busting through the line.
Chaos is a good word to use when it comes to Viliami Kikau at full tilt.
Have a look at the size of him. You would not want to be in front of him.
He gets us back on level terms, and Tamo has been doing it for years.
Kick it off the ball, Ryan, not square.
In his 11th NRL season, 14 Origins, 12 internationals under his belt. It's a very handy forward pack when it's allowed to get going. And this man, very much a part of it. James Fisher-Harris.
He's developed a little pass into his game that I've really been liking from him in 2019. We saw his little try assist there for Maloney.
Moses Leota off the back of it. Now it's a run for Dean Farray. Maloney kicks across his body. Michael Gordon is there. But the chase is good. Gordon with work to do, and he targets Cleary. Now they force him backwards. So 11 minutes left in the first half. 2 tries apiece. Anthony Don has scored one of them. And a great effort from the winger as Gold Coast get a penalty. The defence was doing the job. Gold Coast were looking for a kick from within their own half, and instead they'll get a freebie out of their own territory.
Well, it's 4-1, the penalty count in the way of the Gold Coast Titans. AJ Brimson is now on the field. Just alleviating any pressure that they're able to build, the Panthers.
Look at that contact. James Fisher-Harris. It was Keegan Hipgrave on the receiving end. Straight after this, 1-300-mile stadium for the Cowboys against the Storm. Roberts for Brimson, who evaded Cleary, but spun right into the hands of Kikau. James for Roberts. This is Cartwright changing the angle. Back across the ground. And Leota jumps on board. Tamo, or is it Ryan James, has stayed down in back play with what appears to be a rib problem. Final play now. Brimson to the line, passing for Gordon, on to Kelly, drops it straight onto the boot. Good kick. And taking no chances, Dallin Wateni-Zelezniak. So the Titans force a goal line dropout. That was slick.
Panthers. A nice option there from Kelly. We see this is what Ryan James... Well, he's a front row forward, Ryan James, and if he was looking for a penalty there, the referee's got it spot on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, James.
That's walking into someone in the shopping centre.
Kick it.
Let's keep pushing the trolley. On to the next aisle. Sorry about that one. AJ Brimson. Look at this run. Max King playing his 4th game of the season. In for the suspended Fotuaika. Hipgrave to play it. Roberts called by King towards the middle of the ground, but Roberts takes the tackle. Inside the 20, Brimson for Proctor, beautiful for Gordon, trailing on the inside. The defence read it really well. Cleary and Wateni Zelezniak with the tackle. Roberts rolls it off the hand for Hipgrave. He's forced to ground by Katoa. Last tackle. And this is Roberts. It's knocked forward by Panthers and the tackle count restarts.
They need to persist out on this right-hand edge, in and around Viliami Kikau. He's pulling himself out of the defensive line. Oh.
Fisher Harris up in the face of Ryan James. Now Rain calling players underneath, and Peachy hears the call. They go the short side again. Ryan James trying to crash his way over. James Maloney a little worse for wear as he gets back to his feet. King stays on his feet. Now he's forced to ground. Last play, Roberts. A long ball, AJ Brimson, the tip on Gordon to Anthony Don, who had no room. He kicks, a deliberate kick. And they might get a goal line dropout, they will. Anthony Don threading the needle, and the chasers did the rest.
Well, he can do it all, the Donster. As you see, a lovely little shift play there from the Titans, just really testing the left edge for the Penrith Panthers. I'd just like to see the Gold Coast Titans just maybe come across field, dropping some blokes under, really testing back in that middle third of the field for the Penrith Panthers, where they're going to be a little bit tired.
Quick goal line dropout, goes 50 metres, taken by Roberts. And King comes back at them again. 4th generation first grader. Keegan Hipgrave. Pressure building on the Panthers. But can the Titans cash in? Ryan James, he plays the ball. Brimson to Proctor. He's looked assured since coming on, AJ Brimson. James picks out that man. Brimson holds the pass up, and Hipgrave runs the brave line. At the last, in front of the posts, 10 out, perfectly set, Cartwright. Here's Roberts, his kick, again, finds the in goal, and again, they'll force the opposition under their own crossbar.
And this is the game management that we haven't seen consistently enough from the Gold Coast Titans. Nice little play here, sum things up. Bryce Cartwright, Tyrone Roberts has been good in the first half of his kicking game, just building the pressure. They're 3rd in a row now.
It's the first time this season Garth Brennan has been able to go with the same spine from one game to the next. Is it starting to show? Maloney just inside the dropout clock. And Keegan Hipgrave is charged with the return. Didn't look 100% as he hobbled through the start of that run.
He battled a hamstring injury during the week, Keegan Hipgrave. He might just be blowing. It's been a frantic pace the last 10 minutes.
He went straight back to his haunches after playing the ball in the Narang Roosters socks. Ryan James tackled by Kikau. There's Brian Kelly quickly out of dummy half. And again bursting through, Brian Kelly back to his feet, finding support. Rain, numbers galore, long and they score. Copley jumps back against the angle, can't find a way through. Offloads for Arrow, middle of the ground, they promote again. Now Kelly, the man who started it, may as well finish it, but he's tackled just short.
Numbers right, got to come right.
Kelly playing the ball now. That's the way they come. Roberts through the hands and they score. There he is in game 250. Michael Gordon with one to remember.
And that's excellent footy, and that is reward for pressure and persistence from the Gold Coast Titans. Did everything right in that set. Brian Kelly, we spoke about his strength. Here's a run out of dummy half. The cross beats one, beats two, up off his feet. Comes up with a offload. Mitch Rain. They go wide. They should have kept it through the hands. The Penrith Panthers did enough at this stage. They scrambled. They did a good job before Kelly. And then they just had to get it out this right-hand edge. I thought he was going to kick the ball there.
I could see you flinching as he shaped a kick.
Tyrone Peachey to come from the left-hand side of the field to the right-hand side, knowing that Brian Kelly hadn't got there. Excellent awareness.
He's such a wonderful player, Tyrone Peachey. He's probably, at times, probably his worst enemy in terms of he can play so many positions and play it at a high level.
Well, he has no right, Hodjo, to come from the left-hand edge where we see so often players just park themselves. Understands that they got numbers out on this right-hand edge. Brian Kelly's in it under the post. A really, really good heads-up play. We talk about football players. Well, he's certainly one of those. And this man in game 250 in front of his 500 fans.
What were they on? 9 buses.
9 buses.
The man they call Flash, Michael Flash Gordon. 7 years at Penrith, 3 at Cronulla, 1 at Para, 1 at the Roosters, now in his second at the Gold Coast. He hasn't missed tonight. He scored a try tonight. The Tweed Coast Raiders Junior being applauded by his fans in the stands, and aren't there plenty of them? Every grand final, there's a rookie 18 or 19-year-old who we all say doesn't know how lucky he is. Well, the reason why is Michael Gordon, 14 NRL seasons at some very successful clubs, but he's never played in a grand final. Corey, Justin, between you two, you have 6 grand finals. Poor old Flash Gordon hasn't played at the big dance yet.
Yeah, and that's why when you get there and you win them, they're so special. He's done everything in the game except that. He's been a terrific servant for every club that he's been at. He's having a great afternoon here.
A special treat for the big league wrap on Monday. Michael Gordon is actually mic'd up by Fox League tonight. We'll hear the best of it on Monday with Yvonne Sampson, Michael Ennis and the team. I wonder what he said when he went over to score that try. Want to hazard a guess, Justin? Actually, don't, Corey. You do it.
It's been a great half of footy from both sides. It's been a high completion rate. The Titans coming into this game had been criticised for the lack of... Well, in the first half, they've built pressure. They have aimed up defensively. And just as I say that, Matty, they come up with an error with a minute 43 left on the clock.
Through the first month of the competition, the Titans could muster just 8 first-half points combined. They've gone to 18.
And it's off the back of pressure.
It's just like the way Tyrone Roberts has really stepped up in the absence of Ash Taylor, who's gone off, and then the energy of AJ Brimson is really starting to spark the Gold Coast Titans here. This is his last 10 minutes he's been on the field.
Minute and a half left here after this game. We go to North Queensland. Cowboys, Melbourne Storm. Cam Smith on the verge of a big record. Josh Mansour. He finds the middle of the park. A beautiful surface that is Seabus Super Stadium. There's plenty of time for the Panthers to build an effective set here. Maisela on for the back end of this half as Maloney goes to Yo. Now Wonga Blake hard towards the corner. He throws it back in field and throws it straight to Bryce Cartwright.
Have a look at this pass from Cleary. The little flick ball under all sorts of pressure was sublime.
Stay in your positions, stand up and stay in your positions.
So Cartwright has knocked the ball on That's why Penrith have raced to set their scrum.
Under pressure, flick ball right on the spot.
Bring him in, Bryce.
Maloney,
Come on, Titans, let's go.
very hard to do under pressure, and did it with ease.
Mitch, heads in, let's go, Bryce.
That's good defence there by the Gold Coast Titans. No one came out of the line. No one tried to make the tackle. They just waited for their inside support. Just pushed the big man over the sideline.
Inside the final minutes, the push-on was meant for Josh Mansour. He can't keep it in play. And on the first play, Penrith get it wrong. They waste 30 seconds, 30 golden attacking seconds.
Well, the right play here by the Penrith Panthers. They had them stripped for numbers. Just that last pass. Josh Mansour catches that. Just watch here, just overruns the ball. Pretty dirty on himself.
So that's it for the first half. Penrith scoring first, but after 40 minutes, the Gold Coast Titans have raced in 3 tries to 2. Can the Penrith Panthers come from 6 points down at the half to make it back-to-back wins? The Gold Coast Titans still trying to crack their first win of 2019, have had numbers in their favour. Dallin Wateni, Zalesniak and co gifting that team a 5-1 penalty count. Gold Coast with 62% of the ball in the first half. And with that ball, Ryan James has led the running metres, barring the 2 fullbacks, with 74 plus 5 tackle busts. They were up against it early, but fought back to score 3 tries in a 20-minute period. But the question their fans want to know, can they hang on? Can they go on with the job?
It's been a great first half from both sides. It'll be interesting to hear what the coaches have to say. Tyrone Roberts, I think he's been great. Here's the try that he comes up with there. His kicking game has really steered him around. Here's one that puts on for Anthony Don. We see 1 try, assist, 1 try, 3 runs. But the Gold Coast Titans at the back end of that half, you mentioned about possession, were able to get a lot of it off the back of just building pressure, just not overplaying their hand.
He's experienced now 141 NRL games, Tyrone Roberts. The second half underway. And the Titans return here. Tyrone Roberts nursing that Achilles injury that struck him 13 minutes into round 1. He's still working his way back to full fitness with it, but the signs in the first half good. As Keegan Hipgrave is forced onto his back. Now the captain, Ryan James. And then I mentioned with the run meters, 74 of them in the first half, to lead all forwards in this contest. Mitch Rain drops it underneath for Cartwright. Proving stubborn to force to ground Bryce. Now Roberts completes the opening set of the second half, putting it on the ground in front of Wateni Zalesniak. A good option as he returns with venom, accelerating into the defence. Since the 30th minute mark, have a look at the ball that the Titans have had. Nearly 90%. The last 10 of the first half.
Yeah, I've got no doubt that Ivan Cleary at half-time would have mentioned to his troops that although they're in the game, they just keep inviting the Gold Coast Titans out of it with late penalties in penalty count. We mentioned that was 5-1.
Got a player in front, just wait, Sione.
As on cue, the Penrith Panthers get one. Their first great opportunity in the second half.
Well, the Titans were cruelled by a 9-1 penalty count against them, against South Sydney. Would have been relieved to have 5-1 in their favour, but it becomes 5-2, and it could well level out in this second half. James Fisher-Harris runs hard, and as we've seen in the first half with that nice pass, good distribution in his repertoire as well. Cleary for Leota. Looking to level it up nice and early in the second half. Penrith. Now Selle on to Fisher-Harris. The forwards doing it themselves. A great line from Fisher-Harris. But what about the pass? Hame Selle. Putting it on a platter, and the grateful recipient is number 13.
It's a real asset to have some ball players in your middle. We've seen it this afternoon. This time, it's Fisher Harris on the receiving end. Just able to isolate by going to the line, going in deep. Ball player moving out the back. Able to isolate AJ Brimson. Terrific line there from Fisher Harris.
Was just great movement here by Nathan Cleary, just moving late, making sure AJ Brimson's got to choose. Either he comes in on Fisher Harris or he goes out on Nathan Cleary, and he makes the right decision there.
Some real concerns for the Titans in that area. We saw Fisher Harris in the first half go to the line and a little tip-on play to Maloney, untouched. We see Saleh do the same thing. Fisher Harris untouched.
Cleary locks us up. It's good reward for James Fisher-Harris. Last week, 120 run metres, 48 tackles. He's been productive again, but 5 tries in his rookie season. That man, James Fisher-Harris, but not many since. He hasn't scored since August 2016 as James Fisher-Harris runs back. Hannah, what can you tell us about that man, Ash Taylor?
Maddie, so he had a cork to the top of his right calf on the outside. It went numb on the field, so he went off. The doctors then spent the rest of the half assessing it. He was inside the sheds, very tight-lipped about the extent of the injury. I have been hunting the update, and they tell me he'll be right to come back on for this half, but when that happens will depend on how the Titans go. If they can rest him, they will. If they need him, he'll be out there.
Thank you, Hannah. So Ash Taylor on ice for the time being.
Hold it, hold.
Isaiah Yeo. Plenty of energy in this set after the try. A couple of good runs so far. Now Leota, who wasn't expecting the ball, makes the catch. He thought he was the decoy man. Next minute, the ball was on his hip. Mame Selek. So he's yet to score an NRL try, the former St George Illawarra Dragons, but he's assisted one with a beautiful pass. Katoa bursts through, and he's pulled down from behind by Max King. Last play, Penrith. Cleary goes high, end over end, and Michael Gordon spots the ball, says, let me make it my own. He does.
Great take there by Michael Gordon in his 250th game. We saw Josh Mansour flying down the middle. Put some pressure on him, but he comes up trumps the number 1.
It's been a feature of his career, hasn't it? He has no regard for his physical safety. And right there, just throwing his body through heavy traffic to collect the kick. Good run. Bryce Cartwright, who spoke this week about needing and wanting to run the ball hard and bend the line before I try and give a pass. Here's a burst for AJ Brimson. He'll take on Darren Watene Zelezniak and win. What an X factor he is. It's been called back for a forward pass. The crowd doesn't know. The commentators only just know. It's an obstruction play that has denied AJ.
Well, he's brought plenty of energy. Tyrone Roberts, he just starts on the inside, uses Ryan James. Although there wasn't a defender impeded, unable to do that. And opened him up, AJ Brimson. The Panthers on the attack.
What a result. Rather than watching number 14 race away, they go straight on the attack. Looking for the leads. Maloney picks out kick out, who is allowed to wind up. And he draws in 1, 2, 3, 4 Gold Coast defenders. Can they find a hole elsewhere? Fisher Harris. Opening up both sides of the field. That's the shot above Seabus Super Stadium. Leota. He goes close. Kick out on the left. Fisher Harris on the right, but instead it's Cleary. Oh. What a ball! A beautiful pass for Josh Mansour. This one won't be called back, and it's Nathan Cleary.
That is silky. That is silky skills from Cleary. Brian Kelly comes off the line. A little step there from this man, Cleary, and the skill. Absolutely sublime. Just have a look here. Viliami goes through. Kelly comes out, gets Anthony Don interested, and for just their second time in 2019, they cross down this left-hand side through Josh Mansour.
His first try of 2019, the international winger. But he will run off passes like that from Nathan Cleary every day of the week, Justin.
Yeah, that's 100% right there, Matty. You can just see Brian Kelly and Anthony Don just racing up out of the line. They knew they were under pressure. They had a man that was unmarked, Josh Mansour, but they just probably should have held their ground a little bit, try and force them to try and throw a cutout ball. But when you rush out of the line like that, that makes the decision a lot easier, as we just saw there.
Well, they had the right numbers, Hodjo.
No, they were down because
Kelly had Cleary, just got to the outside, which then got Anthony Don interested. He just needed to come off the line and just hold his spot. But the skills shown there. And we've seen some silky skills this evening from him. A little flick pass in the first half. We saw what he come up with last week for the Panthers.
The boos and hisses around the stadium were for Nathan Cleary, who was redesigning Seabus Super Stadium, scattering the advertising banners.
You see Ash Taylor walking up down the sideline. He doesn't look like he's going to return this evening.
But you've got to think, the longer he stays off the field, the more sore it's going to get, the blood's going to clog up, the swelling.
They just can't take a trick, the Titans, on the injury front. And the epicentre of it all is the spine. But here's Nathan Cleary from the sideline, bringing it back and bringing it back beautifully. So what a swing we have seen for that man, Ivan Cleary, in his 300th game as coach. Not to mention the opposition, because AJ Brimson was away.
Well, that's a penalty that we see for obstruction. And off the back of that, their transition was quick. They just got it all wrong on that right-hand edge, the Titans, but take a bow, Cleary.
Rather than being up by 4 or 6, now the Titans are down by 6. The match winner from last week coming up with a big play to put the Panthers back on top. They led it 6-0 early. It doesn't look like Ash Taylor, a forlorn Ash Taylor, will be able to overcome that cork to the calf. Hame Sellet. He's been good off the bench. A couple of years of first grade at St George Illawarra. His first at Penrith. He's 23 NRL games to his name. Mansour, who's had to overcome the shoulder injury, but the shoulder wasn't tested as he raced to score that try untouched. Sellet wrapped up by Cartwright, 10 short of halfway. Katoa and Fade can't step his way through. That's tackle 5. Cleary has it spin down the field, where it's taken by Gordon, down on his knees to make sure of it. And leading the charge, James Maloney, who wraps up the ball.
James off the ball.
What about the mental demons for the Titans right here? They played really well in the first half. They came back for the second with the lead. And in the click of your fingers, they're down by a converted try.
Well, this will help. But they've gone back-to-back tries against them. And they were leading on the scoreboard in that first half on the back of the pressure they were able to build. Boy, nothing too fancy other than just building pressure, playing in that up-tempo style. But they've only had 2 sets in this second half. They've only been able to complete one of them. So they need to get some possession. They need to complete.
Rain wrapped up out of dummy half by James Fisher-Harris. Plenty of Titans appealing, saying that Fisher-Harris wasn't entitled to do that. Jai Whitbread on in jumper 20 for his second NRL game. He debuted last year. Now Roberts for Ryan James. 3 metres out. Gold Coast coming back at them through Jared Wallace. What a night it's been for the forwards. Doesn't Big Jared love scoring tries? He's got one. His first of 2019.
Well, that was way too easy in the middle third. He just got back onto the field to be happy with that one, Jared Wallace. Their first for the year through that middle third. Mitch Rain just sums it up. Nice little decoy run there from Whitbread, and Wallace just returned back to the field. Garth Brennan has gone to his experience. Crashes over for an important try. The Titans are back.
Just too much space in there by the Penrith Panthers. You can see there they're all compressed their line right up, and a simple little block play with Wallace at the back of it, and it just strips them for numbers. I think the Penrith Panthers got to start spreading their numbers a little bit wider. Get your body in front, especially close to the line. You need your body in front of players. You can't have a player in open space. As we see here, Jared Wallace's match so far, 9 runs, 80 metres.
The Origin forward scoring his first try of the season. So we've seen Big Bill kick out crash over. James Fisher-Harris barge his way to the in-goal. Now Jared Wallace making sure the Titans forwards join the party.
You mentioned before, Matty, about the mental demons that they would have been facing. They got a penalty, they come down there, they cross the line, and they've had no ball. They'd be talking about in that huddle there, it was the first time we've really had an opportunity. We cross the line, hold the ball, let's complete like we did in the first half, give ourselves every opportunity of this match. It's game on here.
We are locked up. These two teams went to golden points when they last played. It was here late last season. A long while still to go. And even in round 5, it's not too early to start thinking about the NRL Grand Final. Tickets available on Tuesday for ticketed members at nrl.com/tickets. Get your tickets for the Grand Final nice and early. Gold Coast 24, Penrith 24, and there is still the best part of 28 minutes to play. Two teams who came into this round as the lowest scorers have piled on 48 points. Anthony Don.
Josh off that ball, lock in.
Across Proctor, and it's Whitbread, middle of the field.
Hands off.
His dad, Greg, played for Canterbury and then started with the Gold Coast Giants before they became the Seagulls. So good to see Jai in jumper 20 on for NRL game number 2. No Shannon Boyd tonight for the Titans because of hamstring tightness, just part of their injury concerns early. As Roberts playing an important role. Gets the torpedo bomb away. Dylan Edwards with a good catch. Plenty of experience in that fullback catching role, but playing on a wing tonight.
He had plenty of work to do, as did Edwards. It was swirling and moving. Dipped late on him.
10 is Lesniak. Looks like breaking tackle every time he runs the ball. Now Edwards again. Katoa called by Campbell. Killard with Cartwright up to meet him.
That's a return serve from the first half.
Only that one was legal. Maloney splits 4 Gold Coast Titans and finds the sideline really well.
James Maloney having a little chat there. Mitch Rain give him a little elbow as he went to kick it.
It's amazing what points can do to a side. We just saw there in the last probably 5 minutes, the Titans were slowly starting to struggle, as we see here. Oh.
Jimmy didn't like the attention. And attention after this one, we'll focus on North Queensland Cowboys Storm. The Storm looking to make it 5 straight wins for the 5th time in club history. Don't they start so well, time and time again? That remarkable stat about how often they win their opening game of the season.
17 years in a row, Matty. It's incredible.
Great
Back
bowling.
in the
Well,
night.
You lose such venom in terms of their playing personnel, and then someone else steps up. The system they have there works year after year. It's going to be a big game there for the Cowboys.
Go 10, Nathan.
Proctor.
Sione, hands off. Marcus square.
Rain called middle of the ground by Whitbread.
Isaiah off the ball.
He played 17 minutes against the Roosters
Go 10, Isaiah.
last year in round 18. The kick from the Titans splits the men at the back. Wateni's Lesniak waits for the bounce. Just watch him return this ball, then accelerate straight into the shot. What a tackle! The highlight defensive play of the night, and this is the reaction. I didn't spot anything illegal.
It was Jared Wallace that they're going for. He's been penalised for a shoulder charge,
Dylan.
and all hell has broken loose.
Dylan.
Well, we need to see this tackle again. At first look, it was legal.
He brings it back with such gusto, makes contact. Wow. That is strong contact from the front rower.
I was looking at the tackle from Mitch Rain. It's Jared Wallace in from the side, and it's that shot that Penrith have taken offence to. They claim it's a shoulder charge.
Everyone comes in and gives their 2 bob, and then the little guys go at it out the back. Edwards and Rain.
Let's have a look at it again and
look at Cleary and Peachy in the background, the old mates.
get some very early verdicts on the legality of this Jared Wallace tackle. Firstly,
Well, he was unable to bring that left arm up because he was so tight to Mitch Rain. He meets him, in my opinion, with his chest, as opposed to that
I need to check for Josh.
conventional style shoulder charge.
Ryan. Josh. Yeah.
there's Jimmy Maloney's input.
Time's off. Everything escalated from you running in, okay? Had it been punches and stuff, you'd be sitting down. Just let us deal with it. Thank you. I'll come back.
Jimmy, he's got the penalty, he's still arguing.
No need to run in and escalate things, yeah?
Yeah, I was
The
just
things were out of hand, you'd be sitting down.
Yeah, that's right.
Did we...
Adjusted. Early thoughts.
Well, it's a tough one. Corey's right. You can see the angle that he came in. There wasn't much room to try and lift his arms, but...
Well, if anything, Matty, it's brought some fire into this game. 24 all, 22 minutes remaining.
Maloney for Wonga Blake. I wouldn't like to be in the dock and look up and see Jimmy Maloney as the judge. Judge, jury and executioner. Get rid of him. They were his words to the referees as Fisher Harris finds Isaiah Yeo. Penalty deemed sufficient by the men in the middle. Katoa. One for Maloney, who gets away from Whitbread, but only momentarily. 15 metres out. Still 22 and a bit to play as Cleary stabs the ball and it's picked up by Wallace. Look at the defence come at him. They were racing in from every direction. North, south, east and west.
Here we go.
Wallace had a beacon on his head. Now Ryan James.
As soon as he picked that ball up, you could just see the Penrith Panthers just swarm.
There's a
Look at this.
347 game of Brisbane Bronco beside me. You'd like to strut the boots on again just quietly.
I'm okay here, Matty.
He loves it when the forwards get a little antsy. Whitbread plays the ball. Kelly shoots out of dummy half. And what a good start to your Friday night on Fox League. Rain for Tyrone Roberts, just repeating Ash Taylor off with a lower leg complaint, and Tyrone finds the sideline.
That's a smart kick there from Tyrone Roberts. Just giving his forwards a little breather. There's been some big contact, plenty of effort going on. Just have a look at these hits here. Here's the first one, Watini, and then that man Wallace. And he picks the ball up and they swarm to him.
Have a look at that.
Little Nathan Cleary down underneath Katoa and Fisher Harris. 20 more minutes of this one. How good?
Let's go, boys. We've got 10
Fantastic.
seconds.
You get home from the frustrations of a working week and you let it all flow out as you watch the Titans and Panthers rip in. Just like you felt like doing to the boss as you left work. Fui Mayono. Here's again Wateni Zalesnia.
Releasing Tyrone.
Up past 120 run metres now. The Penrith #1. But many of those metres at a ferocious speed.
Jared, stay strong. Jared.
Cleary inside the 40, but the kick is covered by Anthony Don. He spots some room and he spins away from Cleary.
Yeah, that was the wrong play, Matty. On tackle 3, going for a 40-20. Anthony Don was set. They were building nicely into that set.
And now the Titans have it 8 short of halfway. Copley plays it. And Jai Arrow, who had that huge running game against the Sharks, 280 metres, down to around the 140 mark over the last couple of weeks. Brimson, light on his feet. A danger for any tired forward in the opposition lineup. Roberts elects to go high this time. Wateni Zalesniak leaves it for Anthony Don. Don needs support, he kicks instead, and it sits up beautifully for Penrith. They get a little lucky there, the Panthers.
Lucky, Josh Mansour did not look at the ball. Here's the left winger for the Penrith Panthers and did not even sight the ball.
How was Regan Campbell-Gillard feeling as the grubber came at ankle height but then sat up around his chest? He won the lotto.
Sometimes you just got to let it bounce, Corey.
Mansour, as the defensive pressure goes up a gear from the Titans, and they might get a result. That's tackle 4. Penrith 11 metres out. Now it's with Edwards. He spots 4 blue jumpers in his face.
There's a knock on
the defence works.
There was a knock on at the play of the ball. And the Titans, they're happy. The crowd has come into it. Edwards off the back of their defence. The drums are beating. Katoa just a little bobble.
Well, Hannah, sideline, this crowd is really coming into it as we look at the little fumble there from Sione Katoa.
Matty, a 24 apiece for the Titans and the Panthers. This is an exciting finish. The crowd is completely in it. It is Michael Gordon's 250th game, and don't they know it? The hits allowed on the sideline, the cheers, the applause. They're also letting the referees They're letting the referees know what they think of the calls. It's going to be an exciting finish here.
Kelly gets the ball away for Don. Don straightens now. He drops it.
6 to go.
It's been pulled out by Penrith, say the referees. Don back into the middle of the field. Arrow. 13 on 13. Fisher, Harris on Jai Arrow. 2 no-nonsense characters right there. Whitbread. Rain for Roberts. Plenty of
good defence.
Titans running hard at the ball, but you're right, Corey. Read well by Farray and Cleary. And noted defender Farray. He might need to stop Wallace. Instead, it's Campbell-Gillard over the top. Rain deep for Roberts. On now, Cartwright. Uses Peachy. He'd love to score against the Panthers. He kicks off an upright, and it's dived on by Wateni Zalesnia, who is then dived on by Tyrone Peachy.
It's a good defensive set from the Penrith Panthers as kick out. tries to get his team off their own line. They've been camped down here for the last 10 minutes.
Again, the defensive set from Gold Coast promising. Wanga Blake, can he run Penrith out of trouble? That's a better charge. Now Mansour on the back of that. A couple of the outside backs take tackles 4 and 5. Maloney reefs the ball downfield and finds the middle of the ground. It's a good kick. Don gets there now. Gets away from Whare and takes tackle 1. Straight after this, up to North Queensland, where Cam Smith might just become the game's all-time leading scorer. Hazem El Masri, 2-4-1-8. Cam Smith, 2-4-1-6.
Well, Ivan Cleary's gone to his bench as we see the
Copley away for Peachy. Peachy sets sail for the opposition in goal. Kicks back in field for AJ Brimson, who needs a bounce. Gets one now, scoops it up, but can't break the tackle. The ball zigged, he wanted it to zag. Here's Arrow. And Arrow holds the ball, takes the tackle, a great tackle. Jerome Luai around the legs. Out of dummy half, burrowing and losing the ball. The Titans oh so close through Brian Kelly, but they come up short, quite literally.
Well, he needed to pass the ball there, Jai Arrow. They had numbers. The Panthers are on the back foot. Here's the break. Tyrone Peachy down this left-hand edge comes up with a nice kick. All he needed was a A-grade bounce there for AJ Brimson. Cleary back. They scramble well here, the Panthers. And Kelly comes up with the error.
All right, let's go, boys. Start forming. Michael, head in, let's go.
Well, it nearly poses the question, Justin. Next team that gets in position for a field goal, is it too early?
There's still 14 minutes to go, but you're probably right. I think the more you can keep ticking the scoreboard over, puts pressure on the opposition. And the momentum at the moment is all with the Gold Coast.
I was going to say, Matty, before that bust, Ivan Cleary's gone to his bench, and you mentioned Jerome Luai. He can play and provide a bit of X-factor around that middle third.
Well, when it comes to the field goals, I'll give you a stat that has Penrith way on top in that department. But firstly, Maloney executes the back end of the set by driving a kick down for Gordon. A try tonight for Michael Gordon, a perfect kicking performance as well. Penrith, when it comes to field goals, Maloney 21, Cleary 3. When it comes to the Titans, the only man to kick a field goal is Ash Taylor with 3, but he's off the field injured. So on those numbers, you'd say that advantage Penrith.
It's been a great game of footy here this afternoon. Wallace pokes through again.
As we see Ash Taylor sitting on the sideline.
I'd love him out there. Copley away from Edwards. Now he kicks and chases. Cartwright was held backwards. He didn't ground the ball, but this could be a penalty try.
That's exactly what we're going to see.
Jared? No. Tackle 5. I have a try. Grounded here by Bryce Cartwright. If it's not grounded, we have a penalty try for him being jagged back.
Well, Dale Copley does extremely well, has no room to move.
Follows through his own kick. Inside chases is onside. We've got interference by the Penrith player. We'll go through to confirm any possible grounding.
Well, this could be a better result by Bryce Cartwright not grounding the ball there.
Well, does he not ground it?
Called...
It looks like he...
That appears like a bounce.
It's a try, nevertheless. It's just where the kick's going to be taken, Matt.
And what's peculiar is David Munro said, we've got to check for the try. If we don't have it, we've got a penalty try.
Bryce Cartwright, in going to ground the ball, does not take possession and ground the ball cleanly. We'll go back to review any possible interference.
in which case the conversion will be from in front rather than out where they're checking now whether Bryce Cartwright has grounded the ball.
We can see on this angle there's interference by the Penrith defender on Bryce Cartwright, which takes away a clean opportunity for him to ground the ball. In our opinion, he would have scored the try. We have a decision.
Penalty try. They're about to go ahead by 6, the Titans.
Well, it's seesaws again. Another twist in this. The work from Dale Copley on this left-hand touchline with about 1.5 metres to work with to get on the outside of Edwards and then to come up with a chip over
he
the
got
top
to the ball anyway and
was superb.
So how can you say he would have scored it anyway?
In our opinion, it's a try.
But it's not. It's not even hypothetical because he got to the ball.
James.
If he didn't get to the ball, we'd cop it. But he got to the ball.
I understand your point, but James, the rule is our opinion. Our opinion, he would have scored.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's our opinion.
You're making an opinion.
It's a fair point by the Defence Counsel, James Maloney, but the point is that he wasn't able to ground the ball as he would have liked because he was held back. And before anyone says, how could the referees have been absolutely sure that he would have scored? Well, it only has to be in the opinion of the referees that he would have scored.
It was a strong case that he was trying to get across very quickly, as was Jimmy. And a very, very satisfied Bryce Cartwright up against his former club. He's been strong this evening, Bryce Cartwright. He's come up with some big defensive plays.
We used to have Michael Gordon. This man is a teacher, Bryce Cartwright, when he was in Year 6. And Michael Gordon was a teacher's aide, instructing a very young Bryce Cartwright. Now they're in the same team. Cartwright scoring. Michael Gordon about to convert.
He would have put him in the naughty corner at some stage, definitely.
But right now, he's the class king, Ducks of the school that is the Gold Coast Titans, because Michael Gordon and Bryce Cartwright have sent the Titans out by 6.
We saw similar scenes in the first half, Matty Russell, with the Penrith Panthers coming out really stamping their authority, but then probably the last 15-20 minutes it's been the Gold Coast Titans, exactly as they finished the first half.
It's been a high-quality game of footy. If you like statistics, 92% completion rate for the Panthers, 83 for the Titans. We come into this game, we're talking about the attacking or lack of with these two sides. We've seen it in spades here this evening, 6 tries.
Well, one more converted try and Gold Coast would have scored as many points in one game as they did the first month of the competition. And they're not stopping yet, the Titans.
There's a few more twists, I think, Matty.
Last time they played here, it was Golden Point with Nathan Cleary winning it, but only after missing a conversion that would have won it in regulation. Strong run, Mitch Rain. What a backup for Garth Brennan to have without Nathan Peach for an extended period. Roberts, good tonight, on to Peachy. Can another former Panther score? Gordon has, Cartwright has. Roberts runs onto the ball, kicks. What will the ruling be here?
It was called not play that.
The next one offside, it's a handover.
Hand over Penrith.
It's a great position for the Penrith Panthers.
Bring it over him, mate. Play the ball.
Bring it back, Gold Coast. Bring it back.
The kick that Tyrone Roberts comes up with the knock on. The Panthers start at the 50-metre zone.
Martini Zalesniak. Luai on for Tamo. Cleary now, just shows it to Fisher Harrison, instead goes through Maloney, kick out. Inside the final 10, the Titans by 6, hunting their first win of the season. Whare drifting across the ground. A little bit like Michael Cheekham did last night.
What a try that was.
A beauty. Especially if you're a West Tigers fan. Maloney on for Tamo. Has it bobble around in his lap before being secured. Last play Penrith, 8 metres out. Luai back to his left. Fisher Harris throws it for kick out. It's worked already, but not on that occasion. Let's praise Gold Coast's defence.
It was great defence out there, but Cleary wanted the ball. He was out the back of the decoy runner in. Kick out.
Here comes Anthony Don, tackled in his own 10 as we go sideline to Hannah.
Maddie, bad news for the Panthers back rower Isaiah Yeo. He has come off to the sideline and straight down to the tunnel into the sheds, clutching his left shoulder. The bench have told me that he heard a crack when he came out of a tackle. It's not dislocated, but he won't be back tonight. He's had troubles with that left shoulder, so this is a recurring issue for Isaiah Yeo.
He can't take a trick early in 2019. He played every game last season. Isaiah Yeo leading by example, but he's had concussion issues. Now the shoulder will have to be scanned as Ryan James runs with some more vigour.
Really good set there from the Panthers. The Titans only able...
The bounce here might be interesting. It bounced back towards Anthony Don, but away towards the eastern sideline. He couldn't get his hands on it. It was a dodgy set, really, from the Titans. They almost get something out of it.
It was an excellent defensive set from the Panthers. They're able to apply pressure. He's been great this afternoon. Come up with a couple of kicks that have been costly.
It's
Crucial times.
It's his last 2 kicks, isn't it? He's been absolutely brilliant with his kicking game here this evening without Ash Taylor, but it can be a cruel game sometimes, this rugby league, but...
Now Nathan Cleary chipping, Copley trying to get back. Copley has it. What were the Panthers doing there? A trick play with 7.5 left. And now they concede the penalty.
He's frustrated, James Maloney. They come up with the wrong play there. Ivan Cleary with the poker face on.
I didn't understand that play.
Well, they just weren't aware of it. Here's the strip here from Maloney. Wonga Blake was the only one on the chase.
Next up, North Queensland hosting Melbourne. They've got plenty to live up to after this one to start your Friday night on Fox League. Proctor, met by kick out, and Farah. Arrow.
Do they set up for the one now?
Yeah, look, they got to
go ahead by 7 with 6.5 left. Roberts, and it's put down by Brimson, who just had a little look. Wonga Blake with the ball. Katoa on to Fisher Harris, Justin.
That's a no for me, Cos. No field goal.
Well, they've done everything in the last few sets, the Titans, to invite the Panthers back in. They're the king of comebacks. Have they got enough this evening?
Fui Mayono playing the ball that goes through Fisher Harris. Now Cleary almost gaps them. Pulled down by Brimson it was. Maloney to the line. He takes the tackle. Wateni Zelezniak unused on the inside. Katoa, Cleary holding the pass up and tackled by Proctor. Mansour was free on the flank. Last tackle, Maloney. Grubbers in behind the defence, and they'll have to work it out. They can't work it out.
Brilliant. That's his 15th for 2019, Matty. Leads the competition by a street in that area. Sums it up perfectly. Nice little kick in behind. The weight was beautifully.
Jimmy Maloney now with 15. Next best man we'll see tomorrow, Adam Reynolds with 7. He has twice as many forced dropouts as any player in the league right now. His short kicking game, year after year. And Tamo, little jink in the run.
4 minutes 40 on the clock.
The Titans will have to tackle their way to their first premiership points of the season. Cleary on for Campbell Gillard.
They can smell it.
We've got to give it a kick out. He's the man on the edge, on the left edge for the Penrith Panthers.
Maloney, ball out in front, kick out, will take some stopping, he put it on the ground, and forward, Anthony Don returns the ball, jumps inside 2 defenders, heads across field, and now takes the tackle. Bill kick out, best advised just to tuck it under the wing and thunder over. Instead he tried to pass for Josh Mansour. Watch it again.
He knows his wing is unmarked there, but the temptation just to throw the ball knowing his side's down, but he just needed to go to ground.
To Kickout's defence, he was being tackled as he passed the ball. Was on the way down, looking to promote the free man. Jai Whitbread. Is he about to play in his first NRL win? Here's Roberts putting it high. The chase will apply the pressure. Mansour puts it down. It was backwards out of the hand, or was it? Referees say knock on. Kevin Proctor agrees. Not many Penrith Panthers will. Jared Wallace has been huge for the Titans, 143 run metres. That actually leads the game with 143. Inside the final 3 minutes. Next up, Cowboy Storm.
AJ, come on. Over here. Kevin, come on, mate. Kevin, shot clock, come on.
Cameron Smith warming up, needing 3 points to pass Hazem El Mazari.
Come on. Head in. Shot clock's on. 2 hands.
You expect him to do it off the kicking tee. Maybe he'll score a try, Cam Smith. Here's Kelly trying to score to seal it for the Titans. Told to go back.
Such a strong ball runner, Brian Kelly. He's never down. He's always fights to get up.
1 point.
You're calling it.
Tyrone Roberts parked to the left of the ruck, 15 metres out now. It's with Roberts who dummies. Brimson. He's in the middle of the ground, calling Mitch Rain. Instead it's Whitbread, giving it on to Brimson. Rain to Roberts, Cartwright. Chopped down 6 metres out. Minute 40 left, Ryan James down the short side. Can he stay in the field of play? No is the answer. So, Penrith.
Well, they've got 1.5 minutes. That was the wrong play there from James. The 2 playmakers on the open side were screaming for the ball.
Edwards plays the ball. Katoa to Tamo, middle of the ground. Remembering this is a 7 tackle set. Here's some further assistance. A minute left. Jared Wallace trying to ride the team home. Oh. How much fun is coaching Garth? 0-4, hunting his first win. He has 1 mad minute to survive. Kick out. On to Cleary. Now Maloney. This is Watene Zelezniak in behind. Phil Mayono, no penalty. Watene Zelezniak surrendered as Fisher Harris does anything but up the middle of the ground. 15 out. Still 3 plays left for the Panthers. Cleary, Maloney throws it out the back. Mansour has the bounce. He goes backwards but can't get away. Now he does from Kelly. Mansour charging back into them. Proctor makes the stop. Seconds counting down. And that is it. Garth Brennan has his first win of 2019. Isn't he relieved? It's a huge performance from the Gold Coast. Down early, down again in the second half, but fighting back on multiple occasions to have their flags waving for the first time this season. Gold Coast 30 beat Penrith 24.